Okay.
Rolling.
Well, we're here with Howard Cowboy Wooldridge. He's a detective, and he's been detecting a flaw in our public policy regarding smoking marijuana. So he wants to tell us all about it.
Well, it's 18 years of police experience showed me that the war on drugs, this modern prohibition, has been the most destructive, dysfunctional, and immoral policy since slavery and Jim Crow. And that's why I work hard in the Congress every day as a lobbyist and advocate to repeal this new modern prohibition.
That's right. You're with Citizens Opposing Prohibition.
Right. COP, cops, representing police officers, judges, prosecutors, law enforcement, who from our time in the trenches over the last 40 years and $1 trillion of drug war realize quite well that this is a failure of policy, and more people are hurt by the prohibition than the drugs themselves.
You realize the truth, and because you're right up front in the trenches,
right,
and you can see it every day, how unfair and miserable you make people for no need.
That's correct. Yeah, that is absolutely correct. We've arrested 40+ million people in the United States on drug crimes, and we've arrested millions of dealers, drug dealers, and the impact in 2018, there's heroin available in every small town in America at $6, $8, $10 a dose, very cheap. So whatever America wants to do about drugs, they should stop giving my profession the money to make any impact. We are a mosquito on the butt of an elephant.
So a lot of people have a hard time focusing on this issue, and a question that I like to pose to them is, should you respect the judgment of an adult regarding activities that don't violate anybody else's rights?
Right. Yeah. Drug use done in your home is consensual adult behavior. And the government should not be involved with consensual adult behavior.
If there are no victims, there's nobody's rights are being violated. The whole purpose of a proper law in a proper government is to protect the citizens against violations of their rights by other citizens.
Right. And the way to say, I'm concerned as a police officer and detective, I spend 100% of my time involved in public safety, protecting a citizen from all the dangers in the society, whether it's a drunk driver, a rapist, somebody breaking into your house. Consensual adult behavior of using cocaine instead of whiskey in the privacy of your own home is no interest to the government in terms of law enforcement. We need good education, we need good treatment, but my profession should not be chasing drug users because when we do, we are missing the terrorists, we're missing the pedophiles, we're missing people like the guy in Florida that just blew apart the school because we're so busy chasing drugs, we're missing real public safety threats.
Absolutely. So when the government is trying to do all these things it doesn't have to do or shouldn't be doing,
right,
it loses sight from the things it should be doing, which is protecting the citizens.
Right.
That's what they need to focus on, protecting the citizens from people that want to violate their rights. In other words, they have to focus on those actions,
right,
not these actions that aren't harming other people. Now, I think you made a very good point, which is what we can do is have some education about, well, you want to be a drug, you want to be a drug addict. Well, this is the kind of life, and we should show them.
Sure.
People should you should have TV and radio shows and whatever, showing the people and the kids, look, you want to mess up your life, you want to live like this guy on the street, like a bum, he's shooting up and he's this and that. That's a good thing to do.
It is.
Yeah, so people can know what the consequence is. But if they want to insist on ruining their lives,
right,
well, that's not my problem, and I'm not going to pay for it, or I don't want all these negative consequences.
Right. This is like 30 years ago, we had all those seatbelt commercials. When people were being told they need to wear their seatbelt because if you don't, you go flying into the rearview mirror, you fly into the windshield, you're going to get hurt or killed. And that plus some other laws were very effective. Now most of us buckle up. It's a much safer way to travel in your car. We do the same thing with drugs. With tobacco, we see there's some black lungs. So we see these images on TV, and it has an impact. Smoking of cigarettes is way down in my lifetime. We need good education, but at the end of the day, if an adult citizen chooses to hurt themselves in the privacy of their own home. It's a family matter, it's for friends, it's for church, your buddies, your friends, but it is not the business of the government.
So would you like to talk a little bit about all these unintended negative consequences that this drug policy has? Because I'm sure you're conscious of them.
Well, number one, we're missing the public safety threats, like the gentleman in Florida that shot and killed 17 people. That was something that we missed because we have so many narcotics officers out there instead of regular detectives checking out tips from citizens. You know, say something, say something. But the police are overwhelmed with it, and too many of our officers, too many detectives are chasing drugs instead of these threats. We're missing pedophiles in chat rooms. We're missing drunk drivers.